Long weekends aren't long enough. But I made some great progress. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ, coming into my sewing room. I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter how long of a weekend I get, it's never enough. I spent this past weekend doing huge progress, and it was glorious. Friday, I spent the afternoon finishing the last cuts of the background fabric for Bumbleberry Pie. For those of you who are somehow unfamiliar, Bumbleberry Pie was a block of the month program that my friend Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches and I had been working on for just over a year. We started, I think, last June. We got the blocks done. Craziness happened in schedules. And we finally had the opportunity this past weekend to finish it. She and I, we were ready to put things together. So we started on Saturday on my channel, bright and early, on my 11sies Live. We had a blast sewing together and catching up because she and I haven't been live together in a little bit. By the end of my live, we had our center medallions completely pieced together. So even with all the chatting, we were able to push things through our machines, get things gone through, and we had the center medallions together. And those aren't tiny pieces. I think they were 40 or 42 inches square. I was looking at it and I was like, this would be a pretty good size for a baby quilt. Until I realized I don't think there's any babies out there that are worth all of the effort that it took to make that center medallion. It was a lot. There was a lot of triangles in it, but it came out so gorgeous. So after we got our medallions done, we ended the live and hung up for the afternoon and said we will do some homework between, I think it was about 12:30 and about 5. Get what we can done, and we would reconvene over on her channel in a little bit later in the day. So I was in here, I was piecing things together, getting things pressed, and I had things in a really good position for when we reconvened later in the day. So at 5 o'clock on Saturday, we joined back up together on her channel, and it started with a conversation with our friend John from Art East Quilting Company about his upcoming projects and stuff that's coming out. John is a wonderful guy. It was the first time that I had a chance to chat with him directly. He had done a presentation at our friend Steven's spring retreat, and I've seen him on many people's channels, so I did the chat stuff with him, but this is the first time there was a little bit of direct, and he's a great guy. I am excited for the stuff that he has coming up, especially his second star to the right, Peter Pan themed quilt along that is starting in April. There are orders out there, and I do have a link in the description below if you're interested. No pressure. I mean, you can do whatever you want. But if you like the pattern, the fabric, a whole bunch of cutting, then I think it's going to be a fun time. After he was done with his bit, we got back to putting our stuff together. I always forget how much work it is to put the final pieces together, getting like all the blocks together and then the borders and everything, because you have so much fabric going on. And I always forget because we're not finishing quilts all the time. We're mostly piecing blocks or units. So most of the time what we work with fits fine under our needle. And then we get to the point where it's like, it's time to put it all together. And I'm just trying to push things around, contortion. Like I have a new, every time I have a new respect for the contortionists in the circus and stuff. But I made it. I started Saturday morning and I was done about 7:30 in the evening, and I got the entire quilt top together. It still needs its final press. I don't have any full pictures of it because it's so freaking huge. I thought about putting it on my bed, but I just hadn't had the chance because it's not pressed yet. I haven't had time to press it. I do need to piece the back, which, that's just really sewing the seam down and then deciding where I'm going to cut to put the extra fabric in. I did discover that it's a little bit too big for me to do on my long arm. I'm probably I'm comfortable about 72 inches. Because I've got an 8-foot frame. I might be able to do like 76. I think David put one of those on recently and it was really tight. But I don't think that I am comfortable doing the full 80 inches that Bumbleberry Pie is. So I was just like, maybe not. So I am going to be sending that one off to be quilted just because I think it's just a little bit too big. Maybe if I had done like a 77 or a 78 inch one and I was comfortable with that. A lot of it is because I have a piece backing and not a 108. I think if I had a 108 where it was just roll it on, I'd probably be okay. But piecing it, trying to keep everything lined up, I'd rather ask somebody who has more experience with that and has a little bit bigger long arm to do it. So that will be hopefully done at some point in the future. We will see when it happens. But the exciting news, throughout the entire quilt along, I know a lot of y'all have been asking, is the pattern available? Is the pattern available? Is the pattern available? And the pattern designer, Nancy McNally, she had said when the Quilt Along started, the block of the month, that she was going to release the pattern when it was over. And it's been over technically for a couple months, just because, we started it. We had a couple months delay. So, and we did everything month by month. So we knew that it was over, and I was like, well, I checked the other day and I couldn't find anything. Stephanie, in her infinite wisdom, she found the pattern. She knew places to look that are beyond Google. So she managed to find the link in the pattern. We put it in the live on Saturday. And I've also put a link down in the description box below this video if you are interested in the pattern. It is currently on sale as of this recording for what is the price? Do I still have the tab open? It is currently on sale for $20. Regular price is $24. So, and that's in USD. So if it's not available, you're not on sale, you're not spending that much more. So I think it's a great pattern. It looks like a couple of the conundrums we had with fabric requirements are resolved on the version that's on the website. The instructions are pretty good. There was just that 1 month that I'm like, I should have probably rewritten it. And Stephanie did. She was smart. She listened to my headache. But yeah, it's a fun pattern, and I'm thrilled that I did it, especially having seen the entire quilt put together and now I'm just looking forward to being quilted and bound and on my bed, because I've already decided I need to have a rotation of quilts on my bed. And like, it's going to be socialites, it's going to be bumbleberry pie. Uh, I think that dragon fruit might fit nice on it, but that's going to require that to be done first and for me to figure it out. But again, this is for future Russ to deal with, not present Russ. Sunday, it was a difficult day to start. With all the work on Saturday, by the end of the day, I looked pooped. Even Stephanie made a comment. She's like, "You look exhausted." I'm like, "I put together an entire quilt, and you basically did too. So I don't know why you look so fresh and I don't." So basically, Sunday morning, I got a slow start, got my breakfast, and then came in here and I finally pulled out the charm pack and pattern for August's Kona block of the month, because I had to prep because the live for that was a couple hours away. So I came in here, I got things ready, I did the little bit of homework that I need to, and then at 1 p.m. on Sunday, I was joined live with a few of my friends. We had Amy and Julie, simply because David is on vacation. Kind of jealous there, David, but that's fine. And we sewed up August's block. And I have that right here. So it came together nicely. I didn't have any real issues. There was a ton of half square triangles, but that's every month. And once the triangles are together and pressed, it ends up being very easy. And yeah, so we just sit there, work on little units, chit chat and everything. And now I'm ready to have everything shown so I can pick up September's block in a couple weeks. I didn't do much after that on Sunday just because the tired set in. It was a good tired because I got some good progress done. Monday, I was off for Labor Day. And I didn't crawl out of bed until like 9:30, and it felt nice. I was awake. I was just like, I'm just going to lay here. And there were times that Percy came in and cuddled a little bit and stuff. And finally, I'm like, Riley's going to have to go to the bathroom. I better get up. After I got everything situated and stuff, I did spend some time in here, but it wasn't working on the graduation quilts like I'm supposed to have done. I spent basically the time and I did math. And after I got all the math done, I cut the remaining background strips for Kona block of the month, not background pieces. Because I've got it's on the website and everything. I've got a picture of all the blocks and everything. So I was able to say, okay, I know there's this many half square triangles, so I know I got to cut this many squares for my triangulation stuff. And then there's this many solid squares and all that other stuff. So I was able to math everything up and figure that out. So I spent cutting for the rest, and because I can do math and it says how big the finished quilt's going to be, I did the math on the sashing strips. For anybody who's curious, they're 2.5-inch sashing strips. And then that first border on the outside, which also is 2.5 as well. So anybody who's working on it and wants to get their cutting done for the rest of the couple months, it's not that hard. I know it's only 4 months that I have left to cut, or had left to cut. And it's only a couple minutes to do that cutting every month. But this just means I can procrastinate a couple minutes longer. I still need to print the triangulations papers because, like I said, I've been doing all these months with triangulations. It makes it so easy. And of course, I still do need to get the charm packs every month and the patterns. So it's not like I'm going to get ahead of anything. I just got ahead on the cutting. I still need to, every month pick up the charm packs, figure out which charms I'm going to be using in each of those, and do all the sewing. But, every little bit helps when you're working on a larger project. And if I'm able to get all of the background cut ahead of time, that'd be nice. It would have been really nice if I spent the time, I don't know, back in January or February to done this, because I think it would have just, saved those handful of minutes, but whatevs. Sunday, I also downloaded another pattern that I realized that I had never started. We were going to do this pattern. Life got in the way, and I've had a couple of people ask, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? I'm like, I don't know. I've got graduation quilts and these other commitments and this and this and this. And then I started blocks of the months and this. So I'm in the process of prioritizing, and I have friends who may be interested in doing this together. So we're just trying to figure out when we're going to do it. So it's still going to sit on the back burner, but I made sure that I downloaded all the parts, because sometimes you need to make sure everything is all together. I don't want to be starting the project and say, oh, I don't know where my patterns are. Now I do. So now I can just go quietly rest on the back burner, and yeah, that'll be good. The rest of the week, it was a week. I mean, nothing exciting at home or work or anywhere in between. Although I did see the remnants of an accident Tuesday morning on the way into work, but that's like a normal day in Atlanta. How about you? Any quilty fun going on? Let me know in the comments below. This week, I don't have much pressing going on. My plan is to finish the last star points in the graduation quilts and organize all of those units into the appropriate blocks. I believe there's 28 blocks, which means 112, if my math is correct. I'd be surprised if it was. 112 quadrants. I think that math's down to 28. So Once I get those in there, then I can sew those on my live, and the rest of the week will be, total chill fest, because once I get the blocks done, it's just organizing and putting those together. And like I said, I can't easily put together a big quilt on live with second camera. Keyword is with second camera. I did it, with Stephanie. So maybe when it's time for me to put them together, if somebody wants to, chit chat on live, sure, we'll see about that. But gotta get the blocks done. When looking into the slightly distant future, though, I do have a few fun things planned coming up. The planning requires a couple of these other things off my plate, and that means graduation quilts off the plate. That means dragon fruit off the plate. So basically, by October, things should be calming down, and I should be able to plan other stuff. The big project is going to be the Secret Garden Sampler. I have purchased this pattern probably about a year ago at my local quilt shop, and I have a second pattern for it that I am probably going to, or yeah, not probably, I will be giving away when the announcement video goes out saying that we are going to be working on the project. So it'd be exciting if you want to join us. This pattern is from the same wonderful lady who did the Barnstar Sampler. So if you've heard good or not so great things about that, like if you've done the Barnstar Sampler, you may not be interested in doing this quilt because a lot of the blocks are the same. She's also got a Christmas block of the month that looks suspiciously like this, but a couple blocks changed, that I will probably be doing again sometime in the future when I find the nice fabric for that. But either way, all of this talk that I'm saying is way ahead of time of the teaser, but I wanted to get that up in your minds in case you were interested. You can go in and search for the Secret Garden Sampler, and you can see the fabric requirements if you want to start gathering stuff up yourself in the event that you win, because you're looking to win this. Or you can just go ahead and buy the pattern if you don't want to press your luck. But all of that is at least a month away, so just let that churn in the back of your mind. Anywho, I think that is going to be about it for today. Sharing my shenanigans with you is the highlight of my week. I mean, what else am I going to be doing? Dress and drag and do the hula? Bonus points if you get the reference. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy what you're seeing. That is the easiest way to tell YouTube to suggest me to other folks. Of course, you could also do that by, sending this video to your friends, enemies, family that you don't know. I am trying to get to 1,500 subscribers, at which I am going to be doing a different fun giveaway. So the faster that we can get me there, the faster that giveaway happens. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy, and remember, always measure your life in love.